Daniel R., how much leverage does an internal candidate have for salary negotiation? I'm assuming that's what you meant. Would you recommend applying to counsel you have given? Would you recommend applying the counsel you have given for internal positions? Yes, 100%. Every single one of you should negotiate your raises and your promotions. Why would you not? Why would you not? Yes, you can be appreciative. I would apply every single one of them. True story. I told the story the other day. Maybe it was last Thursday on Live Office Hours. I was telling it because I think the day before, might have been Wednesday. It was Wednesday, the night before. I literally had a coaching session with somebody in my job search boot camp. She'd gotten a new job 14 months prior and was about to get a promotion. Her name's Karen, and big time director. And we literally had a coaching session to negotiate the raise. So yes, 100% use the tactics for sure. And the one tip I'm going to give you, Daniel, because you asked this question, is I want you to go through your argument about why you're awesome and why you deserve more money and all that good stuff. Okay, go through all of that and really lay it on. Right? There's evidence of your performance and the impact that you've made, and you should be accumulating all of your accomplishments, just like you were putting your resume together, just like you were going to be interviewing for a new job with a different employer. And then one of the tactics that I want you to do, if the call is not, or if the interaction or the video session or the call or the in-person meeting is not going as you would expect and they are not giving in, one of the things that you should do is, and I don't know what your position is, but in Karen's case, I told her, I want you to ask them to envision how they would have to accommodate for handling these responsibilities if she wasn't doing them. And she was in a position that they probably would have had to hire 2 people to handle, truly, especially because the geography she was managing was so diverse, and it was in different countries, in different spots in the U.S. Now, I don't know what you do, but if you took you out of the equation, where would that leave them? And I don't mean to say it in a threatening manner. Just say, hey, if you had to rebuild the team for my position, what would you do? Wouldn't it require a person and a quarter, a person and a half, 2 people? Isn't it worth the extra whatever kind of thing? You cannot imagine how penal it is for an employer to lose somebody they love. To lose anybody. But to lose somebody they love, you've got the knowledge that walks out the door. You got the known commodity that walks out the door, probably somebody they like. You've got now to get somebody in the job who they have to train, pay the recruitment process, whether they pay a recruitment fee or whether they pay for the recruiter's time internally to now spend time and energy, all the interviewers that have to step in to interview, that pulls them out of their day job, and so on. I mean, this is very painful. So believe me, that's usually like throwing a bucket of cold water on their face. So I would yes to your answer, and yes, I would do that for sure. Great question. Can we give Daniel a course? Daniel, we'll give you the, you can have the resume writing masterclass, or you could have the interview intervention course. And in the interview intervention course, there is some negotiation tactic stuff in there. So enjoy that, my friend. That was great. Connie Cotter, our beloved, lovely, and talented, and really smart boot camper and leader, has a question. And it was related to something that I mentioned yesterday. Somebody was asking about, here's the scene. Somebody was asking about negotiating as an internal candidate. Should you negotiate your salary, promotion, increase, bonus, all that good stuff? My answer is a resounding yes. And I gave you a tactic that said, if you make your argument, you show them what it is that you've done, what you've accomplished, how you feel, what you're contributing is helping, the value it's creating, and all that good stuff, and they don't want to meet you where you want to go, one of the best negotiating tactics for an internal candidate is to ask them to if they could evaluate what it would be worth to do this job if you were not there. So what Connie is asking is, she said from yesterday, negotiating for an internal promotion or position. If I ask my employer, how would you handle these responsibilities if I wasn't doing them? That's not really fair. I would not be leaving my job. It's not like they have someone else to replace me or the position would be vacant. Can you explain more how this question would not sound threatening? So Connie, that's a great piece of feedback. Let me clarify that. So here's how I would handle this. So going back to what I was saying, you're an internal candidate, they're giving you a raise or a promotion or both, or maybe making some additions to your compensation package, whatever it might be. If you want to negotiate that and you go through the process, right, of showing them that you want to be paid commensurate with the value you're contributing, if you feel like, or they feel like, that your argument has fallen short, they don't want to budge, one of the best tactics that you can do is to say, let's take a look at this from a different vantage point. And the reason, and I'm telling you guys, the reason you want to do this is because none of us, me, you, everybody that's ever been born and has passed on, has never had an experience that they were not at the absolute center of. Everything gets processed from their vantage point, from their history, how they've let their history affect them, how they value you, the relationship, what you do, how much it means to them, how little it means to them, and all that good stuff. It's very difficult for people to look at it from somebody else's vantage point, because even if they try to do that, they still have to process it with their own history in mind. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to get them to look at your promotion, your raise, and the value of what you do from your vantage point, with what you know you do. Okay, so if you get to that point, you say to the employer, say to your boss, say to your management team, whoever it is, let's look at this from a different viewpoint. If you had to account for these responsibilities, I wasn't the one doing them, how would you value them? How would you accommodate for them? How much would you pay to have these done? And they have to be clear on everything that you actually do, how you do it, what the effort takes, and so on. So if you had to find someone to do this position and these responsibilities, how much would you pay? What would you be willing to pay? And you want to try to stay away from the word I. I is a negotiating interrupter. Okay, they stop listening when they hear you say I want, I need, I see it this way. Sounds like you're not entirely sure of everything that gets done or how it gets done. Let me explain that. So it's something that you're just trying to get them to look at it from a different vantage point. You could say to them, look, I'm not leaving, but I want to try to get you to look at it from a different viewpoint so that you understand everything that gets done, how it gets done, and the effort that it takes, and ultimately what the impact and the value is. And Connie, the other thing too is that's why the Career Achievements Journal is so important. And I'm not going to go into the Career Achievements Journal. I've talked about this a lot. For those of you that are here with me live or that are watching this on a replay, you can check out the Career Achievements Journal. I'm sure there'll be a link nearby or something up in the card or whatever. But you have to have that information at your fingertips and just say to them, I'm not saying I'm going anywhere. I'm trying to get you to understand how everything gets done and the value that I'm creating. So that's what I'm talking about. It is not about you threatening to leave. You certainly don't want to do that. You're just asking them, I want you to look at this from a different viewpoint. Can we look at this from a different viewpoint? You can flower it up any way you want. Take the word I out of there and go from there. But that is a great question. It's a great follow-up. And I'm telling you, it is a phenomenal tactic because it will get them to focus in on what you do, not you. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to take their mind off you and get them looking at what's actually being done. It makes them a little more objective. If you've done your homework, Listen, folks, you do not deserve the promotion, the raise, the whatever if you are not capturing what you're doing, being convincing, showing them the value. You got to have this stuff on the tip of your tongue. On the tip of your tongue. And by the way, I know Kara's going to yell at me for this, but I'm going to tell you this anyway. And it's not an announcement we were going to make until the weekend or next week. But coming up in a few weeks, I have a special live event called Catapult Your Career. And it is a big part of you being able to get these kind of promotions is the 12 steps I'm going to take you through. It'll be out in a couple of weeks. Depending on when you're watching this, it might have already happened. I don't know. But that's something you guys might want to try to attend. Be on the lookout on your emails for that. But anyway, that's a great question. I hope that helps, Connie, and that's really a good tactic for all you internal candidates.